A convicted Lexington murderer will stay in prison. We have details from today.
New developments today in the case of a Louisville toddler found dead in the back of a daycare vehicle.
And police say a Southern Kentucky school board chair cheated on his GED. Find out why a criminal investigation is underway.
This is WKYT News at 5.
A man convicted in a notorious Lexington murder case will stay in prison. This morning, the state parole board denied Eric Hayden's request to be released.
Hayden and another man killed Clay Nelson inside Columbia Steakhouse in 1986. WKYT's Mark Barber was in the hearing and is in Frankfort with our top story at 5.
Sorry for what happened.
Eric Hayden asked the state parole board to release him from prison, saying he is not the same person that he was back in 1986.
If I could, I would do everything in my power to change it, but I can't. Only thing I can do with that is ask for forgiveness.
The 59-year-old has been in prison for 30 years, serving out a life sentence for murdering Clay Nelson. Police say Hayden worked with his roommate, Clarence Jones, to rob and kill Nelson. Nelson was Jones's co-worker at Columbia Steakhouse on Alexandria Drive. Investigators found the 36-year-old's butchered body, stabbed more than 50 times after his killers set the restaurant on fire. When Hayden testified during the trial, he said he was involved in the murder. But today, for the first time, he changed his story about that night, saying he never even went inside the restaurant. He told the parole board he was just a getaway driver and was only there for the robbery.
And I'll come forward now and tell the truth of what my participation was, what happened at that night.
After the parole board heard Hayden out,
I did everything I can to change myself and my ways.
They denied his request for parole, citing the seriousness of the crime.
The hearing's over.
Hayden and Jones will both be eligible for parole again in 5 years. In Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Hayden says the murder was motivated by greed. The men stole less than $5,000 from that restaurant.
New developments today in the death of a Louisville toddler found in a hot vehicle. The Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services has shut down the Little Kings and Queens facility 2 days after that boy was found dead in one of its vehicles outside an elementary school. Jennifer Palumbo joins us now with some new information. Jennifer?
Sam, police say a daycare employee was driving the vehicle Monday afternoon when 2-year-old Levante Swain was found unresponsive, and he'd been there for 4 hours. His mother says her aunt owns the daycare that was in charge of watching the boy. An employee at the elementary school noticed the boy in the back seat in the carpool lane. Levante was given CPR but was pronounced dead at the scene. An autopsy showed he died of hypothermia. Today, the Cabinet for Health and Family Services announced an emergency suspension of Little Kings and Queens child care licenses. An investigation shows the driver picked up Levante from his home but never took him to the daycare as planned. In a statement, Cabinet Secretary Vicki Yates Brown Glisson said, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the little boy's family." She also said, "Ensuring the safety and well-being of Kentucky's most vulnerable citizens is our highest priority, and we will not hesitate to take action against facilities that place children in harm's way." Little Kings and Queens operates 2 daycares in Louisville. Both will remain closed until the state finishes its investigation. The Commonwealth's Attorney's Office will also look into Levante Swain's death to determine whether charges will be filed against the driver. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
And the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services has investigated the daycare several times. The most recent complaint investigation was 6 months ago when the state found the facility failed to maintain adequate supervision in accordance with regulations.
We are enjoying those sunny skies again today across the Bluegrass, but we are keeping an eye on the days ahead. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us now from the First Alert Weather Center with a look at your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. Downright warm out there again today, 80 to 85 in much of central and eastern Kentucky. If you're playing along at home, that is 4 in a row across central and eastern Kentucky. We'll take that and run with it. Currently Lexington up to 84. 84 into Richmond. We've hit the mid-80s into just about every spot at one point or another this afternoon. Defender radar network, nothing going on. A little bit of cloud cover eastern Kentucky. If we are to bubble up a stray shower, thunder shower this evening, it would be across the eastern part of the state. Now, it's a warm surge of air that continues to come in from the west and the southwest ahead of a potent storm system that has some colder air behind it, but even that cold air is beginning to moderate. That low pressure center winds up in the Great Lakes tomorrow with a cold front slowly inching its way across central and eastern Kentucky. What does that mean for your weather? Scattered showers and thunderstorms will become likely, scattered being the key word there. Then we track another good-looking weekend, but all eyes are on a pattern change into next week. Guys, 7-day forecast gets a little busy for the first time in a while when I come back in a few minutes.
Chris, thank you. We are learning some new details today about a controversy surrounding a southeastern Kentucky school board chairman.
Dexter Smith is the head of the Knox County School Board. He's under investigation by state police for perjury. And now there are claims he cheated on his GED test. WKYT's Monique Blair is at the live desk with some new information. Monique?
Sam and Amber, this all started a few weeks ago when allegations came to light that Dexter Smith did not meet all the requirements to hold his elected office. Smith does not have a valid high school diploma. He called it an oversight, saying he received an online equivalent, but that diploma is not recognized by the state of Kentucky. In an interview earlier this month, he told us he got his GED to move past the issue. 2 weeks ago, state police opened an investigation into perjury against Smith because he signed a sworn statement that he met the qualifications to run for school board. During that investigation, state police say they have confirmed another individual took that test for Smith. State police say Smith did go to the Jackson County Adult Education Center to take the exam, and that's where an employee took the exam for him. The attorney for the Jackson County school system says that employee retired on Monday after this investigation came to light. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
At this time, Dexter Smith does not face charges.
Police are warning drivers to be on the lookout for a man pretending to be a police officer. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Mason County. Friday, police say a woman was stopped by a car with flashing red and blue lights, but it wasn't a cruiser. The victim told police the driver asked her to get out of her car, but she became suspicious when she noticed he didn't have a badge or a gun. The woman eventually drove off and reported the incident. Police say the man was driving a black Chevy Impala. In Grant County, more than a dozen students were on board a school bus involved in a crash this morning. The crash happened just after 7 at the intersection of Bypass Road and Bypass Connector Road. Dry Ridge police say the driver of a car ran a red light and hit the bus. None of the 18 students who were on board were injured. The driver of the car was airlifted to a Cincinnati hospital. In Madison County, deputies arrested a man after they discovered a large amount of drugs and cash during a traffic stop. 45-year-old Anthony Ray Davidson was arrested on Battlefield Memorial Highway Tuesday. Deputies say they found more than 38 grams of methamphetamine in his vehicle and nearly $3,000 in cash. Davidson is facing multiple charges, including trafficking a controlled substance and possession of a handgun by a felon.
A ceremonial groundbreaking held today for the construction of a new 64,000 square foot science education center for Bluegrass community and technical colleges. The building, designed by Omni Architects, will include 4 large classrooms, labs, a student support area, and offices for 20 faculty and staff. It will also be home to BCTC's biotechnology and environmental science programs.
We talked a lot about STEM careers and STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and math. So this will allow our students to be taught in new and improved ways using the latest techniques and the latest technology so that they can understand science concepts and work in science careers perhaps.
Construction will begin this month and the building is expected to open in January 2018.
3 people have been charged in connection to the toxic water crisis in Flint, Michigan. A look at the charges coming up. Losing a leg can be devastating, but choosing to stand can be life-changing.
I'm alive, and that's all that matters.
A lesson in adapting dreams when life takes an unexpected turn, Thursday at 6 on WKYT.
You may be entitled to $1,500 for each call you've received from any company collecting a debt. Seems too good to be true, but it's the law.
Want to save energy and money? By replacing an older refrigerator or freezer, you can save hundreds of dollars on your energy costs. And we'll pick up and recycle the old one for free. Turn that old appliance into cash. To schedule your pickup, call today. A message from Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives.
People really do live life in their Toyotas. Live well in the stylishly affordable Corolla S with Entune audio, Bluetooth, and backup camera, all standard. Now get 0.9 financing for 72 months or lease Corolla for $159 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Once through, we'll stop Donald Trump.
See, Ted Cruz too?
Y señor, my pape.
Who?
My pape.
Tape?
Pape, my pape. The conservative running for Congress who helped Trump build the wall.
Will this Mike Pape help Ted Cruz repeal Obamacare?
See?
We must stop Mike Pape.
Vámonos!
I'm Mike Pape, and I approve this message because no one will stop me from standing up for you.
Weimar Electric, proving electrical contractors now making house calls.
Kentucky Lottery jackpot sequence has been initiated. Prepare for current jackpot amount.
Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $227 million.
Nominate your favorite teacher today. Go to WKYT.com/teacher.
At Frankfort Toyota, we have new 2016 Camrys, up to $3,900 off MSRP or 0% financing for 60 months. New 2016 Corollas and RAV4s, up to $2,200 off MSRP or 0% financing for 60 months. And we'll double your no-cost maintenance to 4 years or 50,000 miles.
Frankfort Toyota, Google rated 4.9 out of 5 stars.
Frankfort Toyota, and online at frankforttoyota.com.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
It is sunny. It is nice out there across the Bluegrass State. I am not getting tired of saying that, though we're a little dry. We could use some rain. Let's see if we can find some. You're not going to find it out there now, though. That's a little clue for you. Look at our live sky cam. Boy, it is awfully, awfully pretty. Everything in terms of the buds, the leaves, the blooms doing their thing as of now. High clouds early in the day, afternoon sunshine, 84 in Lexington. Winds have now shifted to the southwest at around 9 miles an hour. Humidity levels continue to run bone dry. We will ramp those up over the next several days. Low to mid 80s. Danville, congrats. Top dog, 86 degrees right now across the entire area. Defender Radar Network, boy, it's been quiet for a while. It will change, though, over the next couple of days. Up and at 'em tomorrow morning, joining Micah to track at least a scattered shower or thunderstorm into the region. Better chance, though, later tomorrow afternoon. Big area of low pressure that is across the upper Mississippi Valley has that warm southwesterly flow coming out ahead of it. I told you this week it was going to be a slow mover. It's like a little trip to the dentist's office to get that one to move. A storm or two around for the day tomorrow. So instead of the 80s, it looks like our consecutive streak of 80 plus, which is at 4, comes to an end tomorrow. Showers, thunderstorms around on Friday. Dry skies will try to take over late afternoon. Saturday looks really, really good right now, with temperatures bouncing back with a mix of sun and clouds. Hour by hour forecast. Let's find some rain. 8 o'clock in the morning, a little green is showing up. That's a spotty shower thunderstorm. Tomorrow's not going to be a washout by any means. Deeper we get into the afternoon, better the chance for some showers and thunderstorms to kind of rumble on through the area. But even there, kind of coming at us in waves. Through 11 o'clock, we dry it up a little bit. Look what happens into Friday morning. Get a little line of some showers and thunderstorms. And then Friday afternoon's one of those days to where you may have a little sun, a little shower, thunderstorm, a little sun, a little shower. And then through Friday evening, that whole system is slowly working away. Now, Saturday may start out with a little drizzle into southeastern Kentucky as some low-level moisture gets trapped. For the rest of the area, though, pattern is looking pretty good as we go into our Saturday afternoon and Sunday. Rainfall forecast continuing to try to highlight a spot or two with greater than an inch of rain across central and eastern Kentucky. Majority of that would come Thursday night and into the first part of our Friday. That weekend forecast, let's get there. 73 Saturday, pushing 80 again on Sunday. Pattern next week, though, will throw a daily threat for some showers and some thunderstorms our way, with temperatures upper 70s to around 80 degrees. It has been a heck of a turnaround over the past week and change.
Another weekend of sun and warm air.
That's how it looks right now, 2 in a row.
Are they applauding when you walk in the grocery store now?
It beats what they usually do when there's
throwing
snow and
tomatoes
everything.
at you?
Throwing rotten eggs and everything. Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
All right.
A live look at Lexington rush hour traffic. The collision we're dealing with at Meyer and Lucille Way has been cleared, so all lanes are open in that area at the moment. Construction work on Todd's Road making things a little slow between Forest Hill and Hayes Boulevard this afternoon, so keep that in mind if you're headed out. Drive times, looks like we're okay to Scott County, to Georgetown, via 75, a normal ride there. No problems on 64 to Frankfort or Winchester. Now back to you in the studio.
There's a big change coming to the cash in your pocket. We'll tell you more about it coming up.
And some changes are coming to a dangerous Scott County road. We'll tell you about that coming up on WKYT News at 5:30.
Kentucky's 40th Annual Shriners Hillbilly Days Festival, April 21st through 23rd in Pikeville, Kentucky. 3 live stages of music, carnival rides, 300 vendors, a car show, and the Shriners Parade Saturday. The 40th Annual Hillbilly Days Festival, April 21st through 23rd in Pikeville, Kentucky.
Hi, Shane Huffman with Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort, where today you can lease a brand new 2016 Honda CR-V for just $259 a month. Plus, we're going to back all our deals with our 110% price protection guarantee. That's Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort. Huffman has it.
Hey, how are you? Good.
Whoa, I just got your text.
Yeah, that says checkout is great.
Treat your family to fresh ground chuck for $2.49 a pound. And packages of raspberries or blackberries are 3 for $5. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
It's ancient Greece. You're a shepherd tending your flock and you're hungry. You reach into your loincloth and remove €2 you bought for 6 iron coins. As you take your first bite, you notice a disturbance in the flock. A lion has taken sweet Euclides. You continue to eat, a lion in your own right. Man, sheep are hard to keep alive. Arby's, we have the meats.
Get ready for Kroger's Kentucky Derby Festival, April 28th through Derby Eve, and be a part of America's greatest community festival with 9 full days of local and national act concerts, the infamous Chow Wagon, various festival events, and more. Admission is free with a 2016 Pegasus pen, $5 at your neighborhood Kroger, and $7 at events.
Hurry into Kroger and save on pork. Get boneless chops, back ribs, or tenderloin for $2.99 a pound. And Kroger cheese is just $1.88 at Kroger.
Established in 1841, Hill & Myers is a local 6th-generation family-owned business. Our company has evolved over the years from a wholesale nursery to design build to commercial and equine maintenance. Now, Hill & Myers offers Weedman lawn care fertilization and weed control for your home, bringing together the long tradition with the best products to give you a lush, weed-free emerald green lawn. Weedman, we care for your lawn. Visit weedmanusa.com to request a free estimate today.
Hi, Shane Huffman with Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort, where today you can lease a brand new 2016 Honda CR-V for just $259 a month. Plus, we're going to back all our deals with our 110% price protection guarantee. That's Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort. Huffman has it.
Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT. Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
There's a big change coming to your change. The Treasury Department announcing today that Harriet Tubman will replace Andrew Jackson on the face of the $20 bill.
The decision was a departure from the original plan for a woman to replace Alexander Hamilton, whose story is now a Pulitzer Prize-winning musical. TBS's Weijia Jiang reports now from Broadway.
Abolitionist Harriet Tubman will soon be the new face of the $20 bill. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew says hers is an American story.
A woman could grow up as a slave, remain illiterate, and through her heroism and her vision and her determination, helped to change the course of this country.
Tubman escaped slavery in 1849, then helped others to freedom through the Underground Railroad. She later became a member of the suffrage movement.
Someone who was a freedom fighter who freed so many people who were in bondage. She is our Moses.
The move is a victory for Barbara Ortiz Howard, founder of WomenOn20s.org. But she wants the bills in circulation by 2020, the centennial of voting rights for women.
The Federal Reserve has a huge stake in this, and they need to put it on the front burner.
In June, the Treasury Department announced it would put a woman on the front of the $10 bill, moving Alexander Hamilton to the back. But the huge success of Hamilton the musical, which just won a Pulitzer Prize, may have let him keep center stage. Hamilton's new popularity aside, Jackson's legacy has its own problems.
In part because of enforcement of the Indian Removal Act of 1830. He was a slave owner, and moreover, there was no contemporary Broadway play about Andrew Jackson.
That's just fine with fans who are paying Benjamins to see Hamilton. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, New York.
The Treasury Department says the design for the new $20 bill will be revealed in 2020, and they'll go into circulation a few years later. The new $10 bill will include women suffragists on the back and Alexander Hamilton on the front.
3 people have been charged in connection to the toxic water crisis in Flint, Michigan. City employee Mike Glasgow and Stephen Bush and Mike Prisby with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality are all facing criminal charges in connection to the city's contaminated water. The water going to the city of Flint was not properly treated, and lead from the pipes contaminated the drinking supply. Glasgow was a former supervisor at the Flint water plant. Bush is right now on unpaid administrative leave with Michigan's Department of Environmental Quality, while Prisby is still working there.
We will get you the answers, and we will hold those accountable. We're not targeting any persons or people. Nobody's off limits either.
The next step is usually a formal arraignment, but officials say they do not know when that would take place.
Gas prices are continuing to rise well above the $2 mark. According to GasBuddy.com, the average price of gas is currently $2.11. Prices are up 12 cents from this time last month, but they're down 35 cents from this time last year. California still has the highest prices in the nation at $2.78 a gallon. In Kentucky, the average price is currently about $2.07 a gallon.
A late-night shooting sending one person to the hospital and leaving a home riddled with bullets. We'll have the details from Lincoln County coming up on WKYT News at 5:30.
Being alone could cause more harm than good when it comes to your heart. And could the climate be affecting your health? More on that coming up in Better Living.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Brian. I buy houses in the Lexington area. No more stress. I can buy your house as is, and we'll close professionally with a Lexington attorney. You can get all cash, debt relief, and peace of mind. Call me at 859-278-HELP or go to 278help.com.
Make time this spring to escape to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the only thing you'll want to do is have fun in the sun. Let the sound of the ocean's tide take all your cares away and leave you refreshed to experience something new. It's your moment to let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Shouldn't you have a checking account that makes your life easier? Introducing Easy Checking from Republic Bank. Relax with no minimum balance or monthly maintenance fee. Easily send money through our app with Mobile Pop Money. Remembering your password is as easy as scanning your fingerprint or eye using iPrint ID. And for easy access to your money, you can use 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs worldwide. Easy checking for your hard-earned money. We're Republic Bank, and it's just easier here.
If you've always dreamed of a Four Seasons sunroom, now you can make your dream come true. A beautiful Four Seasons room lets the light in so you can enjoy the company of friends and family season after season and can increase the size and value of your home for as little as $129 a month. Call Four Seasons today and get free installation for a limited time. Live, love your life in a Four Seasons sunroom.
Thank you for the cereal.
The crayons made a big difference.
It may not seem like much to you,
but it means the world to us.
Kroger stores are increasing local community rewards donations to $3.6 million, and you can help decide where that money goes. Sign up at Kroger.com/community rewards and link your Plus card to the local group that matters most to you. When we all join together, there's nothing we can't do. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Steak? I thought we were on a budget.
I can't eat another fish stick.
I hear you. How about a vacation?
I thought we were on a budget.
If we book on Allegiant, we can totally afford it. The sun, the surf, we all deserve a break. Listen to your wallet.
Kids all set?
Yeah.
What should I order? It's so beautiful here. I love the sun, the weather is perfect. My tan looks amazing.
Ready to eat?
Listen to your wallet and visit Allegiant.com now.
Hi, I'm Brian. I buy houses in the Lexington area. No more stress. I can buy your house as is and we'll close professionally with a Lexington attorney. You can get all cash, debt relief, and peace of mind. Call me at 859-278-HELP or go to 278help.com.
Visit our fireplace showroom or shop online at barnhillchimney.com.
Step right up for something fun. For just $1, the excitement's begun. The game's called Keno, and you can play it in an alley. Or you can play it with your best friend, Sally. You can play it here or there. You can play it almost anywhere. Play with many numbers or just a few. How you play is all up to you. You can put down a little or put down a lot. So what do you say? Give Keno a shot. Just pick your numbers and hope you win, and a few minutes later, you can play it again. Now you can play Keno wherever Kentucky Lottery games are sold, fueling imagination, funding education.
If you're looking to update your bathroom and add accessibility, One Day Bath by America's Window is your winning choice. Modern designs like this tub-to-shower conversion transform your old tub into a low-step-in shower that's safe and easy to use.
Because if you're up in age and you're scared to get in the tub, it's the best thing for you. Get you a walk-in shower.
Our experts can help you design your perfect bath and shower, and we can install in as little as 1 day. Be sure to check out barrier-free showers and walk-in tubs with relaxing hydrotherapy. And call now to get a running start on huge savings during our Off to the Races sale. Save up to 20% on your new bath or shower. Ask about our zero down and zero interest option for 12 months. Plus, act now and receive a $500 discount certificate good towards future purchases. You're always a winner at One Day Bath by America's Window.
It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Most people think climate change is an economic, environmental, or political issue. Now a group of doctors is warning it's also a health issue that needs to be addressed right away. Omar Villafranca reports from Dallas.
The American College of Physicians is warning climate change will have devastating consequences on everyone's health unless aggressive action is taken.
We are the physicians of the nation and the world that will bear the brunt of taking care of most of the conditions that result from a rising climate.
The ACP says the science is clear and compelling that climate change can cause potential health problems, including heat-related illnesses, respiratory illnesses like asthma, as well as insect and waterborne diseases.
We've had more incidents of heat stroke over the last 10 years than we had had in the prior decades. Infectious diseases, tick-borne diseases, Lyme disease, chikungunya, malaria, dengue fever, and now more recently Zika virus has been associated with higher temperatures in parts of the world.
There are also concerns that rising temperatures and natural disasters could lead to behavioral and mental health challenges.
More stress, more anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder.
The group hopes this report will help convince people who are skeptical about climate change that the health dangers are very real. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dallas.
The report says that the elderly, the poor, and the sick are the most vulnerable to climate change-related health issues. Researchers say being lonely and isolated may increase your risk of suffering a heart attack or stroke. They analyzed 29 previously published studies and found that people suffering from loneliness and social isolation were 29% more likely to suffer a heart attack and 32% more likely to suffer a stroke. Loneliness has already been linked to weakened immune systems and high blood pressure. Researchers say the findings show that social isolation needs to be taken more seriously in the medical community. Having diabetes may shorten your life. That's according to a number of diabetes studies and the National Death Index. Researchers say 50-year-old men and women with diabetes had a life expectancy of 3 years less than those without. Although the numbers are grim, researchers say people with diabetes are still living longer than in the past, but the condition still carries a larger risk of other health problems. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.